He is the ghost of fields and forests, a master of disappearance, and a symbol of life's fleeting nature. His image is shrouded in legends and superstitions, from lunar madness to a talisman of luck. We call him cowardly, but only because we rarely witness his true strength. What do we really know about the hare? Today, we dispel the myths and uncover the secrets of one of the most elusive and incredible survivors on the planet. The European brown hare, Lepus europaeus, is not just a large hare, but a true speed champion and skilled strategist among its kind. It is the largest hare species in Europe and one of the most sizable in its genus. Its elongated, muscular, and graceful body, slightly compressed at the sides, is built for powerful sprinting bursts. An adult brown hare weighs an average of 4 to 7 kilograms, and its body length reaches 55 to 65 centimeters, making it an imposing and remarkably swift figure in open landscapes. Brown hares are social animals with a complex communication system. Besides ordinary sounds, they communicate by drumming intricate rhythms on the ground with their paws. This telegraph code relays alarm signals to companions, marks territory, or is used in courtship rituals. However, their primary weapon is incredible speed and agility. When danger threatens, a brown hare can reach speeds of up to 60 kilometers per hour, and its famous doubling back and side leaps, sharp jumps sideways, confuse its trail and drive any predator to distraction. Originally a typical inhabitant of steppes and forest steppes, the brown hare has significantly expanded its range due to human activity. Its historical homeland in Russia is the European part. However, following the plowing of land and the creation of agricultural landscapes, it advanced eastward, across the Urals, and can now be found even in western Siberia and Kazakhstan. This animal has adapted perfectly to life on farmland. It is this proximity to humans that creates conflict. During harsh winter and early spring months, when grass and small shrubs are buried under snow, brown hares face a food shortage. They then venture into orchards and shelter belts, where they gnaw the bark and shoots of fruit trees, apple, pear, and berry bushes, causing considerable damage. But it is important to remember that the brown hare itself is a key link in the food chain. It serves as a primary food source for numerous predators, from foxes and wolves to birds of prey, thereby maintaining the biological balance in nature. The European brown hare is rightfully considered one of the largest representatives of its family. Its dimensions are impressive. Body length ranges from 57 to 68 centimeters and weight from 4 to 6 kilograms, occasionally reaching 7 kilograms. Interestingly, the most powerful and heaviest individuals are traditionally found in the north and northeast of its range, likely an adaptation to harsher climates. Despite its size, its build cannot be called heavy. It is slender and aristocratically graceful, built for speed. Externally, the brown hare is distinctly different from its relative, the mountain hare, in several elegant details. Its calling card is its long, radar-like ears, 9.4 to 14 centimeters, which not only pick up sounds superbly, but also help regulate body temperature in hot weather. Equally characteristic is its long, wedge-shaped tail, 7.2 to 14 centimeters, black or blackish-brown on top, which earned it the folk name black belly. The brown hare's eyes have a beautiful reddish-brown hue. Its limbs are the result of evolution in conditions of open, low-snow landscapes. Its hind legs are longer than those of the mountain hare, designed for powerful leaps, while its front legs are narrower and shorter, foot length 13.6 to 18.5 centimeters, ideal for running on firm, shallow snow. Even the shape of winter droppings helps distinguish the species. In brown hares, they are ovoid and elongated, while in mountain hares, they are more rounded and flattened. The brown hare's summer coat is a complex palette of ochre, gray, brown, chestnut, and olive tones, creating ideal camouflage in dry grass. The fur shimmers thanks to dark speckles in the undercoat and light tips on the guard hairs, possessing a characteristic silky sheen and slight waviness. The flanks are lighter than the back. The belly is pure white, and expressive light spectacles stand out around the eyes. An important detail, unchanging throughout the year, is the black tips on the ears. Unlike the mountain hare, The brown hare does not drastically change the color of its coat in winter. Its fur only lightens slightly, retaining dark tones on the head, ears, and front part of the back. This is because snow in its habitats often does not lie for long or becomes packed, and a pure white coat would be far too conspicuous. Sexual dimorphism in coloration is absent, and the brown hare's karyotype comprises 48 chromosomes. The European brown hare is an indigenous inhabitant of vast steppes whose evolutionary history is closely tied to the open landscapes of Europe, Western and Central Asia, as well as North Africa. Its large-scale expansion northward began relatively recently by planetary standards, likely only in the middle of the Quaternary period. Today, this species demonstrates remarkable plasticity, having colonized not only steppes and forest steppes, but also tundra and sparsely wooded regions across Europe, from the sun-drenched semi-deserts of Turkey and Arabia to the cool expanses of Ireland and southern Scandinavia. Evidence of its ancient presence is found in Pleistocene deposits in Crimea and Azerbaijan. Within Russian territory, the brown hare is widely distributed in the European part, reaching its northern limits near Lakes Ladoga and Onega. The eastern boundary of its natural range runs through Kirov and Perm, skirts the Ural Mountains, and stretches to the steppes of Kazakhstan. Active acclimatization efforts have significantly expanded its domain. It has successfully established itself in the foothills of the Altai, on the Salar Ridge, and the Kuznetsk Alatau. In the 1960s, the brown hare was even introduced to the Far East, to the Khabarovsk Krai and Primorai, where released individuals managed to adapt to local conditions. However, not all experiments were successful. In Buryatia, for instance, the species failed to gain a foothold. The brown hare's history is a vivid example of both deliberate and unintentional anthropogenic dispersal. In the late 19th century, it was introduced to North America, New York State, Ontario Province, where it now primarily inhabits the Great Lakes region. It has also been introduced to Central and South America. The brown hare's fate in the Southern Hemisphere unfolded most dramatically. Acclimatized in New Zealand and Australia, where it had no natural enemies, it reproduced rapidly. Becoming a dangerous agricultural pest, the brown hare began damaging crops and competing with native species, vividly demonstrating the risks of interfering with fragile ecosystems. Thus, from a steppe runner of Eurasia, it became a global species with a controversial reputation. The European brown hare is a quintessential inhabitant of open spaces. Its element is forest steppes, meadows, and fields, where good visibility combines with an abundance of food. In forest zones, it avoids dense coniferous thickets, preferring sunny clearings, extensive felling sites, burnt areas, and floodplain meadows. The ideal landscape for it is mosaic, alternating fields with woodlets, shrub thickets, and ravines, where it can both feed and quickly take cover. In steppes, it stays near gullies, river valleys, and fallow lands. Even in mountains, the brown hare ascends to alpine meadows, reaching heights of 1,500 to 2,000 meters in summer, while descending to more sheltered valleys in winter. Everywhere, this animal displays an astonishing attraction to civilization, especially in winter, often inhabiting the outskirts of villages and towns in search of supplementary food, as well as near water bodies. By nature, the brown hare is a sedentary and territorial resident. In areas rich in food, it may manage year-round with a territory of just 30 to 50 hectares. However, its life is often a rhythm of daily migrations. At dusk, it may travel several kilometers from its daytime resting place to abundant feeding grounds and back. The season also dictates its own rules. In autumn and winter, brown hares move en masse closer to human habitation, to forest edges, and to elevated areas where snow cover is thinner and food is more accessible. In mountains, they undertake vertical migrations, down to river floodplains in autumn and back up in spring. During harsh winters with deep snow and crust, when food becomes inaccessible, true mass emigrations may occur in search of better conditions. Curiously, in the southern part of their range, seasonal movements are often linked not to weather but to the agricultural schedule following harvests or the plowing of fields. Today, the brown hare is becoming a true gourmet of open spaces. Its summer diet is incredibly diverse, including succulent grasses, young shoots, and roots. It happily feeds on dandelion, chicory, clover, tansy, and other wild plants, and does not shy away from cultivated crops, sunflowers, buckwheat, and cereals. The brown hare has a particular weakness for garden and melon crops, often raiding kitchen gardens. In the second half of summer, seeds begin to play an important role in its menu. The hare not only eats them but also inadvertently disperses them, aiding plant distribution. With the onset of cold weather, the brown hare displays enviable resourcefulness. Unlike the mountain hare, which almost completely switches to woody food, the brown hare tries to feed on its usual vegetation for as long as possible. It digs through snow with its powerful paws, reaching winter crops, stubble remains, withered grass, and even vegetables in abandoned gardens. Only when snow is deep does it resort to a forced diet of shoots and bark from trees and shrubs. Here, it has its own taste preferences. It most often gnaws on maple, oak, hazel, broom, as well as fruit trees, apple, and pear. Interestingly, willows and aspens, which form the basis of the mountain hare's winter diet, are disliked by the brown hare and are eaten only when no alternative is available. The brown hare's winter activity brings unexpected benefits to other forest inhabitants. Its diggings in search of food, true excavations, become life-saving feeding sites for gray partridges and some other birds unable to dig through compacted snow themselves. Thus, hare tracks often lead not only to its own feeding spot but also to places where whole flocks of birds can forage. The timing and intensity of the European brown hare's breeding cycle depend directly on latitude and climate. In Western Europe, with its mild winters, the breeding season can last from March to September, with up to 75% of females managing to raise 4 litters, and in exceptionally warm years, even 5 litters. In some regions, under favorable conditions, the rut continues year-round, and the first leverets can be spotted as early as January. Conversely, in the northern parts of the range, where summers are short, females typically have only 1 to 2 litters per season. In central Russia, the cycle is clearly defined. The first rut occurs in late winter, the second in spring, and the third in early summer. Gestation lasts about 45 to 48 days, so the peak of leveret births falls in late May through June. The brown hare demonstrates astonishing reproductive efficiency. Females are capable of mating almost immediately after giving birth, and sometimes even before, ensuring the continuity of the cycle. Litter size is variable, ranging from 1 to 9 young. It is influenced by the female's age, the time of year, and geographical location. The smallest litters, 1 to 2 leverets, are typical of winter and early spring periods, while the largest occur in summer. Curiously, in regions with fewer reproductive cycles per season, females usually produce more leverets per litter. Middle-aged females are the most prolific. Before giving birth, the hare prepares only a rudimentary nest, a hollow lined with grass, or in hot climates, a shallow burrow. Newborn leverets enter the world fully formed, eyes open, furred, and weighing 80 to 150 g. This is a survival strategy in open landscapes where safe shelter is scarce. The mother visits them very infrequently, sometimes only once a day, or even once every few days, to avoid drawing predators' attention with her scent. The young develop rapidly. From day 5, they begin exploring their surroundings. By 2 weeks, they are actively nibbling grass, and by 1 month of age, they become completely independent. Cases of adoption are known, though rare. A female may nurse another's leverets if she encounters them during her feeding period and they are the same age as her own. Young brown hares typically reach sexual maturity by the following spring, although in the western parts of the range, some females may breed as early as their first summer. A unique biological phenomenon is the possibility of hybridization with the mountain hare. Such hybrids, known as tomaks, are occasionally found in the wild, and in captivity, they are even capable of producing offspring. This demonstrates the relatively recent evolutionary divergence of these two species. The European brown hare has traditionally been an important target for commercial and sport hunting across much of its range. A significant number of individuals are harvested annually, supplying dietary meat and valuable for raw materials. Its pelts, due to their durability and the quality of the hair cover, are highly prized in the felt industry, used to make famous felt hats. Less frequently, the skins are used for sewing for products and trim. In agricultural regions, the brown hare can cause serious damage. Winter crops, as well as young fruit orchards and forest nurseries, are particularly affected. In a single night, a hungry hare can completely gnaw the bark from 10 to 15 fruit trees, leading to their death. The problem has become global in scale in regions of introduction. In Argentina, Australia, and parts of North America, the brown hare, lacking natural enemies, has turned into a dangerous agricultural pest, requiring significant resources to control. The brown hare population is influenced by a range of negative factors. Although it is less susceptible to some parasites than the mountain hare, coccidiosis is widespread among leverets and often fatal, causing massive mortality in young hares aged from 5 weeks to 5 months. The brown hare is also a carrier and natural reservoir for several dangerous diseases: tularemia, pasteurellosis, toxoplasmosis, creating epidemiological risks. Climatic conditions are a key survival factor. Winters with deep snow and crust that hides food, as well as spring frosts following thaws that kill early litters, can sharply reduce population numbers. Finally, predator pressure from foxes, wolves, lynxes, and large birds of prey plays an important role in the natural selection and regulation of these swift herbivores. So, who is he? Lepus europaeus, the European brown hare? Simply a pest, gnawing bark during harsh winters? Or the elusive spirit of the fields, whose paws beat a drumroll understood only by his kin? He is a living contradiction, an elegant silhouette concealing the power of a sprinter, capable of racing faster than many a city car. A peaceful vegetarian, transforming into a desperate fighter during mating season. And a symbol of wild nature that has managed to adapt to life alongside humans, paying for this with an eternal race for survival. As long as his enormous ears catch the faintest rustle and his powerful legs are ready at any moment to launch him into a dizzying leap, the world of wild nature remains alive, swift, and full of hidden wonders. He is not the king of beasts, but he is its tireless heartbeat. And his story is an eternal saga of speed, sensitivity, and an incredible will to live.